This model kit review is of the stock car. It's the Mello yellow stock car from the Days of Thunder movie. It's a 1/24 scale model by a Monogram. And here's some pictures of the finished model. Looks like a fair amount of detail there. There's some more details there about the car in the movie. And let's have a look inside. So first of all, here we have our wheels, our tires, and we've got some mold lines, but otherwise some nice looking detail there. We have our windshield glass, which is going to need a bit of a polish. It's kind of scratched up there. And our side windows. And here we have our wheels and other chrome parts. Some of this chrome is reasonable. Other parts are going to need to be stripped down and repainted. Here's another part here. Let's have a look at these screws. Looks like we have a few loose pieces already. Here's our stock car. We do have some mold lines, but they're pretty mild, and otherwise the body's fairly well molded. And you can see some mold lines there. Here's our chassis. Our rear wheel wells are already on. Here's our engine mount. Here's our hood. And it looks like we have parts of our roll cage here, our drive shaft over there. And here are our bumpers. We also have some exhaust parts, more parts for the roll cage, and some hoses. Here are the sides of the roll cage, nicely molded. Looks like some exhaust parts over here. And more parts of the frame. Looks like that part's broken. So I'm going to find that part. Looks like over there, and glue that back together. And here we have our steering wheel, suspension parts, our belt, some more engine parts for the transmission, more parts of the roll cage. Here's our pedal box, some steering parts here, and suspension parts. Here's one side of our engine block and transmission. Here's the other side, and looks like a part for the frame. Here we have looks like maybe a dashboard cover and some wheel parts, and maybe our firewall. Another wheel part, and here's our hose. This looks like our seat, and some more suspension parts here, and maybe the oil pan for the engine. Let's have a look over here at our decals. Still pretty good shape, although the paper's starting to mold a little bit. So here are the colors needed. We start off with the engine block. And continue on with the engine. Mount the belts and the exhaust manifolds. Looks like those are different parts there, left and right. Then we put the suspension parts on there. And our inside we start to build with the firewall, pedal box, and start to build the roll cage. Steering shaft goes on. Next we have the inside of the cockpit being built, other side of the roll cage, and our hoses, and fuel cell, some other parts for the frame. Engine is then mounted, and put our dashboard and steering together. Next is the windshield support and some suspension parts, as well as the drive shaft. It will go onto the chassis, exhaust and radiator. Next, radiator's mounted, and put some hoses on. Then the front suspension is built, wheels are attached, and we start to put our glass in and bumpers on the body, and then we mount the body and hood to the chassis. And here is the painting and decal guide. So all in all, fair level of detail there, fairly well molded, and decals are still in pretty good condition, so that should be a really good build.